In this video, you will be introduced to some of the greatest civil engineering projects ever built in history. Projects will include structures created in both ancient and present times. We will also explore structures such as bridges, dams, roads, and so on. Civil engineers work on a variety of projects that serve different purposes in society. All the projects included in this video are marked by great ingenuity, stellar design, and construction. They were all built to solve a major problem. Let us begin. 1. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is one of the most iconic structures in history, and it is by far the longest wall in the world, but it is not a continuous entity. It is instead a collection of several smaller walls. Several books and articles have been written about this ancient engineering marvel. Countless pictures have been taken all over the structure by tourists and locals alike. Nevertheless, it remains eternally fascinating to the public. For over 2,000 years, many imperial dynasties and kingdoms built, rebuilt, and extended walls in stages. The wall has eroded many times over the millennia. The latest imperial construction was performed by the Ming dynasty from 1368 to 1644, which built the wall of over 6,000 kilometers. 2. Hoover Dam. Lake Mead is the largest man-made reservoir in the world. It was developed during the construction of Hoover Dam. The dam was constructed between 1931 and 1936. Its massive concrete structure holds back the flow of the Colorado River. The dam is the hydroelectric power source and the water reservoir. The Lake Mead is also a recreational lake. Hoover Dam, formerly called Boulder Dam, is in the Black Canyon of the Colorado River, at the Arizona-Nevada border in U.S. It was constructed between 1930 and 1936. It is the highest concrete arch dam in the United States. It impounds Lake Mead, which extends for 185 kilometers upstream and is one of the largest artificial lakes in the world. The dam is used for flood and silt control, hydroelectric power, agricultural irrigation, and domestic water supply. It is also a major sightseeing destination, with some 7 million visitors a year, almost 1 million of whom go on tours through the dam. The dam is 221 meters high and 379 meters long at the crest. It contains over 2 million cubic meters of concrete. 4 reinforced concrete intake towers located above the dam divert water from the reservoir into huge steel pipes called penstocks. Nearly half of the generated electric power from the dam goes to the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, the city of Los Angeles, and other destinations in Southern California. The rest of the power created is used by the states of Nevada and Arizona. 3. Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa is a mixed-use skyscraper in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Before construction was even completed on the structure, it has been recognized as the tallest building in the world. At the time it was opened on January 4, 2010, its interior had not been finished. It was built to accommodate 3 functions, including commercial, residential, hospitality purposes. It is intended remained a secret through its construction until it reached 162 floors and of 828 meters at the time of its completion. The tower was designed by architectural firm of Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. Its main architect was Adrian Smith and its lead structural engineer was William F. Baker. The building, modular in plan, is laid out on a 3-lobed footprint that is an abstract rendering of the local Hymenocallis flower. The Y-shaped foundation plan is a crucial component in reducing winds forces that act on the tower. The core of the tower has a hexagonal shape. As the tower increases in height, the building shape changes further, reducing the effect of the wind on the structure. At the top of the structure is a spire which is over 200 meters. Interestingly, the tower's spire was constructed inside the tower and lifted to its final position with the use of a hydraulic pump after the structure was completed. The foundation of the tower is supported by a 4-meter-thick reinforced concrete mat. The tower's exterior cladding is made up of aluminum and stainless steel panels, vertical stainless steel tubular fins, and more than 28,000 hand-cut glass panels. The tower broke numerous records, including the world's tallest freestanding structure. 4. The Colosseum. The Colosseum in Rome is one of the greatest works of any civilization in the history. The Colosseum is an amphitheater with an elliptical shape, built at the center of Rome in Italy. The staggering size and beautiful architecture makes it one of the greatest civil engineering projects in the history of Rome. Originally known as the Flavian Amphitheater, it is the largest amphitheater to have ever been built in the Roman Empire. This amphitheater was built to organize gladiator contests, dramas, and games. The design of the steps and curvature of the structure makes it an excellent means to amplify sounds that can be evenly distributed through the arena. 5. Great Pyramid of Giza. The pyramids of Menkaure, Khafra, and Khufu form what is collectively known as the Pyramids of Giza. They are named after the pharaoh who rulers during the time where the pyramids were built. All these pyramids were built during the years 2550 to 2490 BC. One of the greatest mysteries is how the pyramids were built. It is a secret that has stumped scientists and builders alike. Egypt's pharaohs expected to become gods in the afterlife, and the pyramids were meant to what guided them and prepared them for the afterlife, so the pyramids were built to last in eternity. The first of the Great Pyramids, the Khufu Pyramid, was built around 2550 BC. The grandest of the Giza pyramids rises to 147 meters and used an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks which weighed an average of 2.5 to 15 tons. Khufu's son, Pharaoh Khafra, built the second pyramid around 2520 BC, while the third pyramid, which is significantly smaller than the rest, was built around 2490 BC. The internal design of the most recently built pyramid is more complex than the other two. The builders of the pyramid, contrary to popular narrative, were not poorly treated slaves. They were skilled and well-fed builders who lived in temporary city near the pyramids. This is supported by many archaeological findings close to the city. The city where the workers lived was a highly organized community with rich resources. 6. Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is a 77-kilometer ship canal in Panama that connects the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. Panama and is a key conduit for international maritime trade. France began work on the canal in 1881 and was halted due to engineering problems as well as the high mortality caused by the disease. The United States led the project in 1904, and it took a decade to complete it. One of the largest and most difficult engineering projects ever undertaken, the Panama Canal, significantly reduced the time for ships to travel between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The shorter, faster, and safer route to the U.S. West Coast and to nations in and around the Pacific Ocean allowed those places to become more integrated with the world economy. It takes between 20 and 30 hours to traverse across the canal. 7. Three Gorges Dam. The Three Gorges Dam is a hydroelectric dam that spans the Yangtze River by the town of Sanduping, in Yiling District, Yichang, Hebei Province, China. Other than producing electricity, the hydroelectric gravity dam also serves the purpose of increasing the shipping capacity of the Yangtze and has reduced the potential for floods downstream by providing the flood with a storage space. Although the dam was completed in 2006, it was not fully functional until July 4, 2012, when water turbines in the underground plant began production. The main water turbine has a capacity of 700 megawatts. However, the dam's 32 main state-of-the-art turbines have smaller generators of 50 megawatts each. These turbines have shown to limit greenhouse gas emissions. The 22,500 megawatts producing dam has been the world's largest power station since 2012. In 2020, after massive monsoon rainfalls, the dam's annual production nearly reached 112 terawatt-hours, which broke the previous record of 103 terawatt-hours set by Itaipu Dam in 2016. The dam serves many more purposes than producing electricity. For example, it increases the shipping capacity of Yangtze River. Because floods have plagued the Yangtze River, the project has solved this problem and consequently been regarded as a massive success. The vision for the dam began in 1919 by Sun Yat-sen in the International Development of China in 1919. His goal was for a dam that would generate 30 million horsepower. It was not until 1932 that the nationalist government began working on preliminary plans for the dam. In 1939, during the Second Sino-Japanese War, Japanese military forces occupied Yichang and surveyed the area. Following this, they proposed a design in anticipation for a Japanese victory over China. In 1944, another survey of the area was done by design engineer John L. Savage. He later proposed a dam design for the Yangtze River project. The work was held back in 1947 due to civil war. During the 1980s, new interest in the dam re-emerged. Construction started in December 1994. The 27.2 million cubic meters of concrete used are for the dam wall. 463,000 tons of steel were used. The initial cost of the dam was projected to be 180 billion yuan. Funding for the project would come from various sources including Three Gorges Dam Construction Fund, loans from the China Development Bank and from domestic and foreign commercial banks, corporate bonds, and revenue from both before and after the dam is fully operational. However, by the end of 2008, the total cost of the project had already surpassed 148 billion yuan. The full cost of the dam was recovered by the end of 2013. Although the dam was initially constructed to provide 10% of China's power, it has only been responsible an average of only about 1.7% of electricity demand in China. This is because the electricity demand has increased more rapidly than previously projected. The dam has had environmental impact in the form of erosion and sedimentation. These two hazards have been uniquely associated with the dam. Unfortunately, much of the sedimentation will settle at the bottom of the dam instead of flowing downstream. The dam has improved wastewater treatment downstream in some areas. 8. The Empire State Building. The Empire State Building is one of the most famous skyscrapers in Midtown Manhattan in New York City, United States. The building took 13 months to complete. Construction started on March 17, 1930 and ended on May 1, 1931. The blueprints for the Empire State Building were changed 15 times to ensure that it would be the world's tallest building after construction was done. The final design was announced to the public near the end of December 1929. Part of what has made this building a worldwide attraction is its Art Deco architecture. Over 4 million tourists from around the world visit the structure. It has become a sort of reference people use to compare the height of the world's tallest buildings. While plans for the Empire State Building were being finalized, multiple buildings were already being constructed in New York to try to claim the title of the world's tallest building, including the Bank of Manhattan Building and the Chrysler Building in Manhattan. This amount of excitement to build upwards and race towards the sky was being spearheaded by the optimism and the construction boom of the 1920s. The public reacted positively when it finished. However, it did not make any profit for 20 years in 1950. The building has total height of 443.2 meters, if its antenna is included. Originally, the building was designed to be 50 stories tall. It was later increased to 60 stories, 80 stories, and then finally reached 102 stories when construction was finally complete. 300 men worked on the construction site for 2 12-hour shifts to dig the foundation of the building. The concrete footing of the building was supported by the steelwork. The steelwork used in the building was pre-ordered and prefabricated in case the city's building code were to be altered. This would still allow the structural steel used in the Empire State Building to carry 18,000 pounds per square inch, would be more than the previous requirement of 16,000 pounds per square inch. The rate of construction on site was so fast that in one 10-day stretch, the builders erected 14 floors. This is a testament to the thorough, well-coordinated and meticulous nature of the planning and mass production of common materials. The high level of planning was important considering the time constraint of construction, space limitations, and the requirement to deliver the building materials quickly. The Empire State Building officially opened on May 1, 1931, 45 days ahead of its projected opening date. At the opening ceremony, U.S. President Herbert Hoover turned on the building's lights with a ceremonial button push from Washington, D.C. More than 350 guests attended the opening ceremony. It had been predicted by the New York Times and many people and builders that the Empire State Building would maintain the title of the world's tallest building for many years, even though it was technically possible to build a tower almost 2 times taller on the strong bedrock of New York. At the time the Empire State Building was opened, not much of the offices were rented. This was due in large part to the Depression. However, after the Depression passed, office space was quickly rented to large companies, banks, and major clothing businesses. Residents also lived in the Empire State Building. As far as tourism goes, the building was a huge draw. Millions of people paid $1 just to ride the elevators to the observation decks in 1931. Despite this, the ability of the building to make profit began in the 1950s, where it was finally able to break even. The reputation of the Empire State Building started to attract renters shortly after this period. The building was listed for sale in 1951 for a whopping $51 million. It was purchased by a reputable real estate company from New York's Manhattan. This was the most expensive price paid for a structure at this time. In 1961, it was sold for a record $65 million. Ownership of the building changed hands throughout the years. Since construction of the Empire State Building was completed, it has undergone several renovations to improve energy efficiency, flow of visitor traffic, and other amenities. For example, the entrance of the building was changed to another side of the street. The building has received notable recognition. It has been named as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world by the American Society of Civil Engineers. It was designated as a National Historic Landmark in 2007. Its architecture is admired around the world. A series of setbacks on the building are designed as such to allow sunlight to illuminate the interiors of the top floors. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and see you in the next video.